Outlander is one of the hottest shows around with millions of fans around the world. But like many shows out there, Outlander isn't without its flaws and mistakes. And thanks to the pandemic, fans have been able to go over previous seasons with a fine-tooth comb, and many have found some weak spots. So stay tuned and don't go away, because today we're talking about Outlander plot hole. Claire Fraser leaves fans baffled with Otter Tooth oversight and other Outlander plot holes. So why are fans baffled by the Otter Tooth oversight? Let's have a look. Outlander will be back in 2022, but before the new series comes out, fans have been going over the previous seasons with a fine-tooth comb. In case you're new to Outlander, the show can best be summed up as a romantic, time-traveling drama that was adapted from a highly successful book series for TV back in 2014. The main characters of the series, Claire and Jamie Fraser, are played by actors Katrina Balfe and Sam Heughan. The series first aired on the Starz network and takes us on a journey showing us how Claire and Jamie fell in love and tried to create a new life together in the 1700s. And as we have seen, their romance would have never been able to blossom were it not for their acquisition of rare and precious gemstones. Claire uses the so-called Otter Tooth stone to travel through time, but there have been growing questions surrounding the Otter Tooth stone and even some confusion. You see, Otter Tooth was formerly known as a man by the name of Robert Springer, who was a time traveler and hell-bent on battling it out with European invaders for the Kanikiahawa people. Springer was able to travel through the magic gemstones because of his gemstone pendant. Later, the Fraser family would acquire the pendant and the gems, but now there's much confusion surrounding the Otter Tooth stone. And who could forget the character Jimmy, who once remarked that the Otter stone felt warm. Fans have racked their brains trying to figure out why the stone would be warm. So what is it about the Otter Tooth stone exactly that has many fans feeling perplexed? Let's investigate. On the popular social media website Reddit, one Outlander fan commented saying, "One thing that confused me was the whole thing with Otter Tooth stone. Claire wore it the entire time traveling toward the Mohawks and never once mentioned it felt warm. We get heat when Jimmy holds it, which implies he has more of whatever power there is that lets the others pass through the stones. It is also the only time the travelers hear the buzzing away from the stones or cave." Many other fans have developed their own alternative theories as to why Jimmy felt the heat of the stone and Claire did not. Another fan of the show put forth their own theory on Reddit as to why Jimmy felt the stone's warmth and not Claire, saying, "I think no one mentioning the stones feeling warm is only because no one has ever asked them how a gemstone actually feels. It's just a natural, normal feeling for them. It's not until it's hot for Jimmy does an adult question the heat factor of a gemstone. Claire says she always thought it felt warm because it was on her skin and getting heat from her. She's always been able to travel. Gemstones will have always felt warm to her." So what's next for Jamie and Claire in the highly anticipated Season 6 of Outlander? Let's have a look. Outlander Season 6 is yet to be released, and fans are wondering if Jamie Fraser will be devastated by a mistake that could destroy his marriage to Claire. After a shocking finale in Season 5, Outlander fans have a feeling that Jamie and Claire's marriage could be on the rocks and on the verge of collapse. With Season 6 right around the corner, some fans over the show were able to sneak a peek at the script, and there's no doubt that the two lovebirds are in for some major conflict. Season 5 wrapped in May of 2020, and then production was delayed due to the pandemic, which left some fans of the show very irritated. Some fans even called the production delay Droughtlander. To quell the angst of fans, Starz executives decided to give fans an early glimpse of what was to come by releasing a single page of the script. Lines in the scene between Claire and Jamie talked about the arrival of Tom Christie, played by actor Mark Lewis Jones, and the rest of his family at Fraser's Ridge. Tom will be arriving with his grown-up children, Alan and Malva, played by actors Alexander Vlahos and Jessica Reynolds, respectively. In some of the lines on the single script page, Claire asks Jamie if Fraser Ridge is really the right place for the Christies given all that has passed. This hints at some previous conflict between Jamie and Tom. In the script, fans also got the sense that Jamie didn't feel right about Tom arriving at Fraser's Ridge because Tom is the type to hold grudges. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're going to fill in some of the plot holes in Outlander. So what else can we expect in Season 6? Let's have a look. One thing that Jamie failed to do was thoroughly explain to Claire how he really felt about Tom's arrival, and this could lead to significant problems between the couple in Season 6. Of course, if you've read the Outlander books, then you've already filled in this plot hole, and you know why tension exists between Tom and Jamie. In Book 6 of the best-selling book series, author Diana Gabaldon covers this in great detail. In Book 6, titled A Breath of Snow and Ash, we learn that Jamie and Tom have known each other since their days in Scotland, and when you watch Season 6, all will be explained. And for those of you who don't know, Fraser's Ridge is located in North Carolina and spans 10 acres. It was acquired by Jamie and Claire in the year 1767, and if you recall from Season 5, Fraser's Ridge is also occupied by Jamie and Claire's extended family, including their daughter Brianna, played by actor Sophie Skelton, and her own family as well. Also at Fraser's Ridge is Jamie's nephew, known as young Ian Murray, played by actor John Bell, his wife Rachel Murray, and their son, who all have a place on Fraser's Ridge. Also residing at Fraser's Ridge is Lizzie Wemyss Beardsley, played by actor Caitlin O'Ryan, who recently moved to Fraser's Ridge after leaving Scotland for America and works as Brianna's maid. So just how much conflict can we expect in season 6? Let's have a look. There's definitely enough room for the Christie family on Fraser's Ridge, but the unresolved conflicts with Jamie could make things awkward for all the other residents who live there and do their best to live peaceful, quiet, and drama-free lives. And with Jamie not being fully forthcoming about the extent and the root cause of the feud between he and Tom, this could likely cause some serious trust issues in Claire and Jamie's marriage that could in all likelihood lead to a dramatic breakup, which would, of course, be a major bummer for fans of the show who can't get enough of the loving couple. In book 6 of the series, the author reveals to readers that Jamie and Tom's rocky past goes back to the days where they met at Ardmere Prison. While in prison, Tom was the leader of a Protestant movement and Jamie was a Catholic, and this is really where the two began to butt heads. The relationship between Tom and Jamie improved only a little when they both started working as apprentices for the prison warden or governor, Harry Quarry. This is also when Jamie becomes the master of the Masonic Lodge, but of course fans will have to wait for season 6 to find out if Jamie's past relationship with Tom will be enough to cause a rift between Jamie and Claire. Finally, what are some of the other flaws and plot holes of this hit series? Let's find out. One of the things that some fans have been quick to point out is the inconsistent characters. Near the end of season 2, Jamie and Claire realize that the Battle of Culloden is going to happen, even though they try to do everything possible to prevent it. Here, Claire came up with the idea that she and Jamie could kill the Bonnie Prince and thereby avoid the battle altogether. This was completely out of character for Claire, and some fans found it bizarre, given the fact that Claire later takes an oath never to harm a living soul. But there's also the fact that Claire has always been viewed as a healer who tried to save people. After all, she is a nurse, right? So this seemed out of character for her, and fans have been quick to point that out. Claire desperately wanted to save the Highlanders, and Jamie in particular, but for her to actively plot the murder of Charles Stewart was not consistent with her character, and fans were quick to point out the inconsistency. In any story, particularly in film or TV, writers routinely try to avoid character inconsistencies, and it's widely considered to be something that should always be avoided because it creates audience confusion. And that's a wrap for today's video, Outlander fans. Don't forget to hit us with a like and subscribe to our channel because we always have great videos coming your way.